Hello and welcome to the Junior High Set 2 Timpani Etude. So as you can hear in Jace's performance, there's a real sense of consistency with the theme. Right off the bat, the first two bars, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. It's really important that you have a tonal concept in mind. So on this instrument, like I've talked about in other videos, the number one thing to consider is our rhythmic integrity. How does the style and the meter come alive through you mastering your rhythmic integrity? But then right after that, our tone and our expressive qualities have to be there as well. So in the very first theme here, we've got the dotted 8th note into 16th, but then we have our forte piano roll. Let's listen to that technique as Jace takes it through the roll. Jace, can you play just the forte and not the roll? 1 to 2, just that, both times. Great. As you can hear, the drums have a lot of resonance. So before he jumps in right away and starts to roll, his ear is going to decide when he needs to come out of the support of the natural resonance and bring us back into the next bar. So now that he's done that, I think that is a reset. So now he's got that reset in his mind about the natural decay of the instrument. Now he's going to play it and then fill in with the roll. Excellent. So the takeaway there is to make sure you don't roll right away. Fantastic. So we have a triplet phrase here right into a muffle here. So you've got a dampening spot there at the end of that first line. And when you dampen on timpani, like we've talked about in other videos, it's super, super important that you realize how incredibly important it is to dampen where you play specifically, because that's going to give you the most direct path to dampening quality. So Jace, could you just play that last bar by itself? Just play that very first downbeat, and I want you to watch the care that he looks down and he's going to muffle precisely where he just played. And I want you to watch the way he does it. And so you didn't hear him slap at the drum. It didn't become its own note because it was just as loud as playing it with a mallet. The other thing he did too is he used the pads of his fingers and he gently rolled in. There's just a little bit of pressure as you pull in towards yourself on that beating spot that makes it super, super clean. You're avoiding a buzz with your fingers, and you're certainly avoiding the slap that we talked about. Next, in the second line, as we head towards letter A, we have a lot of interplay here in the 8th notes and the 16th notes, and we have a crossover. So in the crossover, it's really important that you keep the tonal ideas in your head while you navigate where you're going to play. In other words, where do you play on the drums? So Jace, could you show us with your left and right hand on the 29 and the 26-inch drums where you find your best tonal spots, and just lay your mallets where you think they should be? So he pulls back to a nice resonant sweet spot. Now, when he's playing a crossover, go ahead and cross over and find that same spot. Did you see how he's looking and he's really analyzing, can he match that spot irrespective of which hand is on top? That's a really important concept for him to play those first few bars there on the second line. End of 2, end of 3, end. The other thing you'll notice Jace does so well is he actually looks prior to playing on any of the timpano. So he's looking to see, can I be consistent from drum to drum, hand to hand? Great job, Jace. Moving into letter A, now we have some syncopation, but we move down the drums. We have a dampening technique. We sneak in with a roll. Then we come in with some triplets and an ornament. So there's a lot packed into these first few bars of letter A. Before we play that again, Jace, can you go to the bar with the ornament? 1, 2, 3, with a 3-stroke rough there. This is singled out and it's really clear. Watch him play it under tempo. Could you go 1, 2, 3? Do you hear how we can still hear all 3 notes, but he's being really gentle about making sure that they're underneath the primary? Now, can you play it up to tempo for us, Jace? da, 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 da. They're all there, but it is very clearly a quarter note focus down to the half note. Great job, Jace. And then we've got some syncopation with some of the roll techniques that we talked about. Last thing we'll talk about before jumping into B would be roll speed. So if you look at the last bar before letter B, we have a forte dotted half note all the way down to a quarter note. Jace is going to start this roll with a really aggressive hand speed, 1, 2, 3, and as he plays softer, his roll speed is going to relax. Because remember, every drum and every dynamic has its own speed that we need to consider so that the resonance of the head is smooth. So watch Jace play just that bar. In fact, Jace, could you play it out of time? Just play strong, softer, softer, slower hand speed, and then stop, so everyone can watch how your hand speed changes. Yeah. And when he does that, the transparency of the roll opens up. Because if you play too fast on a lower drum or a softer dynamic, then you are getting competing nodal points. The waves are hitting each other in the middle of the timpani head. Great job, Jace. Now let's play that in tempo, please. Just that bar. Then he releases at letter B. Letter B is a little bit of an accompaniment and melodic idea. Would you mind just playing to C? Just take that whole phrase. Watch where Jace's right hand is in terms of its balance way underneath the left hand. So you can hear clearly Jace is making the melodic component of this phrase his left hand. 2, 1, te 2, 1, te 2, te tom digga triple a t ta 2. He's really making sure that his right hand is tucked underneath. So if you're going to be wrong, students, tuck that right hand too soft rather than competing with that left hand. Great job. One thing you'll notice there, 2 before C, Jace did a great job of delineating. You've got a low triplet, triplet 2 to 1. He did not play this. Triplet 2, Lee 1, and it was really open and tripletized. He did a great job of exercising his rhythmic accountability, so he went 1 la li 2 ti ta 2. 2 ta 1 rather. It is really crisp. Could you play that slowly real quick? 1 la li 2 ta 1. You hear how final that sounds. So when you honor the right rhythm, it brings your music to life. And then finally, we'll go to the end here. Let's go ahead and play C to the end. C exercises a lot of the things we've introduced, but at a soft dynamic. You're playing that roll on the B flat very softly, the triplet back into the roll. There's a long build, there's a dampening spot, and then we build it back up, mezzo piano. One last roll on the low drum, and we build back up to the end. So this is C to the end. There's a lot to consider there. So he's got an aggressive forte diminuendo before building up the last phrase, but you can see how patient he is. So the last thing I'm going to draw your attention to, folks, look at the very last line, the very last measure on the last to second line. He's got tenutos there. 1 te 2 te te forte 1 te te 3 forte. Notice he doesn't over accent those. They're more weight given the context of mezzo piano. Could you show us how a true tenuto feels, almost like half of an accent with weight, please? You can hear that the emphasis there, but it doesn't take us out of the context of mezzo piano. Great maturity there, Jace. Tonal concepts, rhythmic integrity, being specific with where you play and how you play in a smooth, reliable fashion. Great job, Jace. Very, very strong performance today. Well done.